Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar for today. For those who are joining live on on YouTube, then thank you once again. We are trying to wait for all the other people to join us right now before we actually start fully. And for those who are joining through perhaps the Google Meet, if you can actually listen, if you can hear me, please let me know. Let us know we are audible so that we can actually start quickly. I'm so glad to have every one of you join us today. And I'm joining, or I would say we are actually live on from Canada. And today we are going to be having a very wonderful session, a very wonderful session. So if you are us, please let us know if you are with us. Many people are joining right now. We could see many people joining right now. Please mute your audio as you are joining so that we don't have any issues. Um, Very quickly, I'll be sharing my screen. So if everyone can see my screen, please just let me know. I'll be sharing my screen very soon. Thanks. I can see many people joining right now. Thank you very much. I think we are all set. We are all set. Started. Thanks very well. Very much. Yeah, I've seen many people joining in. Many people. This is very good, very good. Please, your audio, please kindly mute yourself. Everyone that is joining, please kindly mute yourself. Let us know that we have a very clear audio. Kindly mute yourself, please. If you are us via any of the medium, kindly mute yourself. Let us know that someone is still not mute. Someone is still not mute. I think we are having some people not muting their audio. Someone is still not mute. Someone is still not mute. I think we are having. Okay, please let's make use of the chat section. If you can the very first slide, please let me know. My screen, you chat it up on the chat section on YouTube. Let me know that my screen. I think some people were not seeing before. So if you are seeing my screen, let me know. Not muting their audio. Someone is still not mute. Someone is still not mute. I think we are having. Okay, please let's make it action. If you can the very first slide, please let me know. My screen, you chat it up on chat too. Let me know that my screen. I think some people were not for. So if you are no, not muting their audio. Someone is still not mute. Someone is still not mute. I think we are having. Okay, let's make it action. If you can the very first slide, please let me know. My you chat it up on chat too. Let me know that my screen. I think some people were not for. So if you are no, not muting their audio. Not muting, not mute. I think we're having. All right. I think everyone is listening here and hearing me well now. The very first slide, please let me know you chat it up. Okay, without wasting much time, this is 5 minutes already, 5 minutes after the time. Let's quickly start up what we have for today. So we want to start up right now. Please, please let's try not to actually make some noise. All right. I think everyone is okay. Without without wasting much time, this is 5 minutes already. 5 minutes after time. Let's pick up we have for today. Okay. Please let's try not to actually make some noise. Right. I think everyone is okay. Some people are complaining that there is echo. Seems there is echo. I think the network is really having issue. Okay, without wasting much time, we have for today. Okay. For those who are having issues still on Google Meet, you can actually join through YouTube. I'm going to be sharing the link to YouTube right now. So you can join through YouTube if you are still having some echo issues. I think some people are complaining about having echo issues. If you are having echo issues, join through YouTube, and I'm going to share the link right now on the chat section. Share the chat. They call it now. So you can attend through the YouTube. You have issues. If you're having issues, echo and problem. Having so so thank you everyone once again for joining this meeting. We really appreciate having you on board, and without you we won't really have this session. So thanks for joining. I'm currently live at Brampton, Ontario, Canada, and as you know, some people may already know, I'm actually a PR. I got my permanent resident status I would say from about last year, but I just relocated to Canada permanent last week. So many people have always been asking how easy is it to actually get into Canada, especially as a PR. Oh, okay. How about now? Is there audio? Janet Michaels from Google Meet. Can you hear me clearly now? Oh, thank you very much. So we have spent much time. Let's quickly go on to what we have for today. So as you know, today's webinar is going to be centered on the tourist to work permits for permanent residency applications. Yeah, many people have always been asking how is it easy to get the PR status in Canada, and some are not even willing to get the PR immediately. Some want to go through either the study permit or the tourist visa or even the work permit. So here we want to really explain to you how you could go through any of this process all by yourself. Do you understand? Or if perhaps if you need any assistance, how you could get it easily without it actually spending much. And before I actually go on, I would like to kind of give a kind of disclaimer. Firstly, I am not a licensed Canadian immigration consultant. I'm not even an immigration lawyer. All I am is just a successful Canada immigrant. And I would say I'm more of a travel entrepreneur because in my own organization, we focus on assisting people to learn languages, maybe like French language, to prepare for internationally recognized examinations like IELTS, like TOEFL, TCF Canada, TEF Canada. So basically, I am not an immigration consultant. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just someone that is trying to assist everyone who is willing to actually get started with their immigration process one way or the other. So that being said, I would like to first ask you, everyone that is joining, and I would like everyone to participate in this question. Do you want to get a tourist visa with multiple entry for up to 10 years in Canada? That's the very first question, because I have a combination of questions I would like to ask you. But the first one is, would you really like to get a tourist visa with a multiple entry of 10 years in Canada? Please let me know. Let me know in the live chat section on YouTube if you are joining on YouTube, or if you are joining on Facebook, or even through the Google Meet link, let me know. Are you someone that would like to get a tourist visa which has multiple entry for up to at least um 10 years in Canada? Okay, Pat Nangozi, okay, Marufat, Abe, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Now, there's a reason why I'm asking this question, because basically what we are trying to learn, what we are trying to talk about today is related to that question. You understand? It's very much related. Now, also, I would like to ask you, would you like to get a valid job offer under work permit within the first or second year of actually coming into Canada as a tourist or as a visitor? Oh, okay. Samantha said she would like a work permit. Who else? Abe, yes, you would like a work permit. Okay, that's good. That's good. Please, you can also be writing on the comment section. Oh, Abdul Jalil was asking, where are you from, Aziz? Well, I'm from Nigeria. I'm from Lagos, Nigeria specifically, and currently now I'm in Ontario, Canada. That's where I actually reside. And Abdul Jalil said, I would love to have a tourist visa for Canada. I have applied for express entry, and I don't have solid reason to visit Canada. The visa officer would probably refuse my application. Now, this is a very good concern, and I would really appreciate more of you actually putting down some of your thoughts, some of what you are thinking as regards the tourist visa, as regards the work permit. And lastly, the last question I would like to ask before we start up today is, would you like a permanent resident status in Canada? Do you feel that you can actually get it, whether be it from Africa, coming from what they call it, the Caribbeans? I've met a lot of Africans, I've met a lot of Caribbeans, I've met a lot of Indians, also Chinese people in Canada. So are you someone that would like to actually, you understand, not just apply, but also get a permanent resident status that allows you to stay here permanently, that allows you to stay in Canada permanently? Yes, okay. Samantha said if it's possible, you get a PR. Abby said yes, if it is possible, they would like to get a PR. Now that's a very good one, very good one. Now I'll be answering some of these questions as we are going through this webinar presentation. And as you know it, the topic for today is based on visit Canada, get work permits, and process PR visa. Now, this is courtesy of A.O.S tourist to work permit for permanent residence package application. Now, for those who know me currently, I'm a Nigerian, and I'm someone that I would state that I am just getting into Canada. But with the little knowledge I have about Canadian immigration, I know that there are a lot of ways you could actually use to get into Canada. Do you understand? And some of those ways, I think 2 to 3 out of those ways are what we are going to talk about today. I'm actually walking around the house where we are currently in Brampton, Ontario. So, and that being said, I would like to ask every one of us that are here, has anyone actually attempted to apply for one particular visa or permit or residency in Canada? Or it may not be precisely only in Canada, it may be in the UK, in the US, in any other place. Have you actually attempted to move from your own country to another country under one particular visa? Please let me know. It's very important that I know how I will streamline this conversation today. Okay, I'm having some. Some said I also want PR. I'm currently in the UK studying, and I would like to move to Canada with my family. Now that's very, very important, because I'll state that many people, just like Mr. or Miss Marufat, or Mrs. Marufat, if I'm right, they have actually moved to one country, UK precisely, and they want to relocate. I had someone that we are currently assisting to work on their visa, who is currently in the US studying in one very cool school, Bristol College, and she wants to actually move from that place to Canada, you understand, under the permanent resident status. She has tested the grounds, she has tested to living in the Americas, and she knows that, okay, from our own experience, US is kind of much more strenuous, kind of much more inhabitable than Canada. I'm not talking about the weather, I'm not talking about things like that, but I'm talking about our own profitability, how she would actually get work permit easily, how she would be able to stay there, how she could always surely get citizenship quickly. Do you understand? Now, okay, someone is trying to present now. Shaukat Ali Khan, please try to stop your own presentation. I'm actually presenting currently. So, that being said, Samson also said, I would like to migrate and work in the tech industry. I'm a software developer with 4 years experience. How can I improve my CRS score, please? Now, these are very good concerns. These are concerns that I would say many of us had before we moved here, and they are valid concerns. I would like to also tell you that yes, I migrated as a web developer. Do you understand? And I was in the IT sector. I tried as much as possible to also get in through the benefits of having my own you understand, my own experiences, my academics and things like that. And I would explain to you at the course in the course of this webinar how you could do it. Do you understand? And how you could, you understand, delineate yourself, because there are a lot of IT specialists out there. There are a lot of professionals in the tech sector. So you would, from this webinar, learn how exactly you could actually do it, how exactly you could increase, as you said, your CRS score, and how you could make sure that you get in one way or the other, if not through the PR process, but through the tourist or through the work permit process. And Samantha also said, are there any specific provinces or regions in Canada that have a high demand for IT professionals? How can I find job opportunities in those areas? Now, these are very good concerns, and I'll do justice to answer most of them when we get to the Q&A sessions. So, without wasting much time, don't let us once you have any questions, just drop it on the chat section on Google Meet, or on the live chat section on YouTube, and I'll do justice to answering them as soon as we get to the live QAs, as I said. So let's quickly move on with what we have for today. Now, I don't know if anyone knows about the policy that okay, before I even get to talk about the policy of the IRCC, let me just make a kind of claim that forget about the negative energies, forget about everything people are telling you. I want you to come into this webinar with a positive mindset. I want you to have that mindset that you could achieve it, no matter if it looks daunting, no matter if you have been told the contrary, that it's not easy to come into Canada. And yes, I will not lie, it's not easy, but that does not mean it's not possible. That does not mean it is not achievable. I remember the time we were in the airport. I saw quite a lot of people coming in their hundreds, in their thousands, entering into Canada as either an international student, as a visitor, as a worker, or as a PR. You understand, a PR resident. So you also can actually achieve it. You also can make it happen. The only thing is that you have to be sure, are you willing to actually go through that process? Are you willing to be law abiding? Are you willing to follow the lawful way to become a lawful citizen or a lawful resident of Canada? Because I'll tell you, most of the negative energies would either talk about the impossibilities or how to go about it unlawfully. And trust me, if you're unlawful in this country, you are not going to enjoy your stay. But if you are lawful, you would enjoy it, and you would thank your stars that you are really in the country. So moving on, I would like to ask again, how many of us know about the policy that we actually have on the screen right now? The policy talking about visitors getting work permits in Canada through the temporary policy, which has been extended for 2 years. How many of you have learned about that policy? How many of you know about this? And I'll read it in order to explain to you, because everything we are going to be talking about today is based on this particular policy, is based on how. Oh, thank you. Samson said, I don't know about this. Okay, thank you. Now you could go on the website. That's why I actually showed you the URL link as well. If you want to know about any um legit information, legit information about Canada, you need to go on their official website. Their official website is canada.ca, or some people would use cic.gc.ca. Now, this official memo was actually sent by in Ottawa, which is the federal capital, or rather, I would say where we have most of the federal offices located, on February 28th, 2023. And it states that foreign nationals, I'll read it so that you will understand it. Is that foreign nationals who are in Canada as visitors and who receive a valid job offer will continue to be able to apply for and receive a work permit without having to leave the country. Now, this is very important. Visitors applying under this public policy who held a work permit within the last 12 months will also continue to be able to receive interim work authorization to begin working for their new employer more quickly, set to expire today. This COVID era temporary public policy has been extended for 2 years until February 28, 2025. Leaving this temporary policy in place makes visitors an option for employers in Canada, as many are facing significant labor shortages during this period of economic expansion. Now, some of you have said you know about this, some of you have said you don't, but I'm trying to tell you that, okay, someone said we should share the link. You could just click, you could just type visit to work Canada. Just type it, visitor to work in Canada. Type it on Google and you would see it. It will populate it, something similar to this, Canada.ca, and you'll be able to check the link by yourself. Now, why am I saying this? I'm stating this so that you know that initially Canada does not allow visitors to what? To work. They don't give them the work permit, you understand, authorization to work. If you come in as a visitor before or as a tourist before, you would have to leave the country. Even if you got a job offer, you have to leave the country and reapply for work permit from your own country. I don't know if you understand that. If anybody knew that, please just let me know. You would have to apply, you understand, in your own country before you can enter. But now what they are stating is that you can stay in Canada as a visitor. And on the day we were at the airport, we saw a lot of people who were visitors, who were tourists, who were coming in without any plan of working. But in talking to them for to pay me for the visa, they understood that they have the opportunity to try to get in other countries, work permit. One of that as well. Are you someone that you would also like to get to work, to stay back even after your visitation, even after your tourism in Canada? If you are someone like that, then this webinar is for you. If you are someone like that, if you feel that you can also achieve this, if you feel that yes, you need something like this, then you have to wait till the end of this webinar, because I'll be explaining to you in depthly how you could do it and how you could make sure that you get that visa approved. Now, moving on, I would like to take it a step further. Let's move on. I want to ask you, do you know how to get Canada visitor visa approved? Do you know how to get it approved? Have you even worked on it before? Have you attempted it before? Okay, someone is saying I applied for multiple EU tourist visa, and the person said Canada study permit all refused since I'm from African country, not having good employment prospects. Now, this is a very good concern. In fact, I would state that Africans, Asians, because we are more of the people coming into Canada. And I will tell you, based on the statistics which we have read about times before, thousands of people apply, but they cannot definitely accept everyone. Everyone cannot. If everyone comes here, then they will not be able to cater for them. Do you understand? So as a result of that, they refuse people. But we have found that most times the cause of the refusal is not because of any stereotypes, is not because of any reason. I am also from Africa. I am from Nigeria. I'm from Lagos. You understand? And I still got approved. Similarly, in the airport, we saw quite a lot of Nigerians, quite a lot of Kenyans, a lot of Africans, South Africans. We saw people from India, from Pakistan. We saw people from China, and these people are entering Canada. So if they are entering, definitely you just need to know how exactly they are doing it, how they are succeeding in it, and how you as well can actually do it in order to, you understand, get your own visa approved. So I would like to ask you again, Okay, someone said I have not. Someone, Joy said, how long does it take to get a decision on Canada visitor visa? Now, these are very good questions. I will be responding to that in the next couple of slides that we have. So let's just keep on learning about what we have curated for you today. Now, how can you get the Canada visa? I will tell you that there are three major things you need to focus on. Three major things you need to be aware of when it comes to Canada, when it comes to the visitation or the visitor or the tourist visa. And the very first thing you need to be focused on is getting your travel documents right. It's very, very important. If you need to actually come to Canada, you need to make sure that your travel documents are correct, they are legit, and there are no issues as regards it. But many people don't know that travel documents are not only passports, international passports, or visas. They are not even only flight details. You need to also have your hotel reservation if, for instance, you don't have someone that would invite you into Canada. Or if, for instance, you want to actually tour the country and you don't have any family members or friends, you need to have your hotel reservations. And it's not compulsory for you to actually pay for such reservations already. You can have dummy reservations, dummy hotel reservations that just state that you are going to land into this hotel, for instance, within that period of time. You are going to, even for flight details, there are some um travel, if you are working with a travel agent, you have to inform them that you need a dummy flight details, like a return ticket basically. And for the return ticket, you are not going to pay for the return ticket. All they just need to do is just to kind of what, reserve that seat. And once you reserve that seat, you are not obliged to pay up until you have been given approval by the Canadian body to actually make the trip. Do you understand? So you need some travel documents, which are the very first things you need. The second thing is the visit document. Visit documents in terms of, if for instance you don't have anyone in Canada, as many people would always tell us that they are just coming, they just want to leave their country, they don't have any family, no friends, no colleagues, they just want to move. So if that is it, you may need to actually check the maybe for instance the conferences that are going on, the conventions that are going on, the seminars that are going on in the city that you are going to be coming into, and try to register for a particular event. And you have to plan it right to make sure that all what you are stating, all what you understand you are actually trying to inform the officer about are kind of legit. Don't lie in your application. It won't help you, because apart from visa officers being, you understand, government workers, some of them are psychologists. They can understand it if you are actually lying. They can understand it if you are fabricating your documents, or if you are doing things that are not, you understand, that are not convincing enough. So try as much as possible, anytime you are giving any documentation, anytime you are giving anything as regards your what they call it, your documents, make sure that they are legit, make sure they are things that will make them see you on a good light. You understand? In essence, just ensure that you are following the rule, you are following the laws, and you are not breaking any laws. You are not short in your visit documents. If you have someone in Canada, it may suffice for you to get a letter of invitation from someone already in Canada. Maybe for instance, okay, if you have a family that is a PR, resident, a permanent resident in Canada, or someone that is a citizen already in Canada, that person can actually invite you. And even in situations whereby, maybe for instance, you have your wife already studying in Canada, or you have your spouse studying in Canada, you could come into Canada, you understand, either as a visitor, you understand, um through their letter of invitation, or you could come as what, as a worker under them, you understand, because you already have someone in Canada. And someone asks, okay, Janet asks, what if the person you know in Canada is an international student? Yeah, I said something similar to that. Not a spouse, but a relative. Now you have to be, there are some gray areas with letter of invitation. If it's someone that can actually foot your bill, if it's and I will not say foot your bill in the sense that paying for everything you can accommodate, but someone that maybe for instance has a house already that could accommodate you, someone that has a space that could let you in, you understand, then that person can become an invitee, or an inviter rather. But if someone that is not yet stable on his own or on her own, that person may not be able to actually give you an letter of and even if that person later give you a letter of invitation, the government knows the standing of everyone in Canada, and that could be a reason for you getting rejected. Do you understand? So you have to also be tactical in the way you actually source for letter of invitation and who exactly you source for letter of invitations from. You understand? Someone asked Samantha, is there a company who wants to guarantee for it, or who can guarantee for it? I'll tell you, when it comes to visas, even so-called licensed Canadian immigration consultants, even though they are immigration lawyers, no one can guarantee your visa. I have to be very, very frank with you. However, they could make sure that all the documentations that you could have made mistakes on, all the processing you could have made mistakes on, are clearly, you understand, documented, are clearly done in such a way that your application will have much more, you understand, much more percentage of getting approved. You understand? But no one can guarantee because no one is working with the government. Even permanent residents like us who are allowed to work with the government, we cannot, from the value of our what of our post, we cannot we cannot give you any guarantee. If anyone is giving you guarantee, 100% guarantee, 90% and things like that, just know that that person is either a scammer or trying to paint a picture is not. So try as much as possible not to be, don't let anyone sugarcoat you. Don't let anyone put it to you as if, most of them may be after your money and not after your well-being. So try as much as possible to always checkmate the originality and the efficacy of the company that is stating that would assist you. There are a lot of travel agents out there. There are a lot of people like us who are successful immigrants who also assist people to actually work on their visas, their immigrations, their language studies, exam preparations. But there is no guarantee. You understand? I have to be very frank with you. Now, apart from the visit document, the next thing you will need is the sustainability document. Now, many people, this is where many people get rejected. In fact, you may have the travel document, you may have the visit document, but still get rejected on the sustainability document. So you have to look in depth, in total, to see that yes, you have all it takes. You have everything that you need. Like for instance, if you have a job back home, you have to state it that yes, you have a job that you are coming back to after your visitation in Canada. Because let me tell you, international students who are coming through the study permit, temporary workers who are coming through the work permit, and visitors who are coming through the tourist visas, all of them are categorized as temporary residents. Do you understand? And that means that you are to come into Canada and leave after some maybe few days, or for some few weeks, or some few months, or some few years. So even if we are stating that yes, you can get a job and you can also get work permit, you understand, as you come into visiting, you must not paint that picture to the visa officer while you are applying for your temporary tourist visa. You must leave that detail out of it. In other words, you must show that yes, you have a job that is waiting for you back in your home country. You have financial assets that is waiting for you. Many people would make use of maybe home lease or home their properties back home, maybe like their home or their cars or their, you understand, their businesses back home. You could make use of family ties document, maybe like as we stated some examples here, vacation letter, home mortgage papers, investment profiles that you have back home, owned business documents that you have back home, in order to prove to the visa officer that you are not just going to abscond after you what after you get that visa, after you get that tourist, you understand, status in Canada. So you have to make sure that all these three documents are available to you. All these three documents are put in a way that the visa officer knows that you know what exactly the visitation or the tourism is all about. And please note, when it comes to proof of funds, many people will talk about proof of funds, that do I need proof of funds for tourist visa? Yes, you need. But when it comes to your financial resources, you would need at least 6 months of account statement, bank account statement. Some people use 3 months, 4 months, but I do always say that that's more or less risky. You need to show the visa officer with absolutely no doubt that you are able to fend for yourself after you come to Canada as a visitor. So you should have at least 6 months of bank statement with at least 2,000 Canadian dollars that you would have with you for at least 10 days per person. Depending on if you are coming alone, is maybe 2,000. If you are coming with your spouse, another 2,000 for 10 days. If you are coming with a what they call it, with a son or a daughter or your child, with another, just like that. The reason for that is that you will claim with no doubt that yes, you can successfully sustain yourself in a first world country like that in order to cover your expenses during your stay in Canada. Now, please note something here is very important. When it comes to proof of funds, I know why I'm stressing on this. Many people will get rejected on the fact that their proof of funds is too good to be true. You have to have a baseline, you understand, a kind of equilibrium. It shouldn't be too much, because there are people that have shown about 150 million naira, which is roughly like 100,000 Canadian dollars, in their proof of funds and still got rejected. Do you understand? Because it was just too much to believe, especially if maybe they are still young. Again, you must not have too low financial statements to show that okay, you want to come maybe for like 3 weeks. And that reminds me, the duration. Some people may want to ask, what is the best duration to actually give for visitor visa, for tourist visa? Even though some people can get accepted for months of visitor visa, months of tourist visas, it is always better for you to have just few weeks in you understand, in your application for visitor visa. So you should have at least 3 to 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks in your visitor visa to state that yes, you would stay in Canada within that period. Don't be scared that 3 to 4 weeks is short. Basically, I would say it's short for the visitor visa, but the reason why it is short is for you to quickly get approved by a visa officer, so that when you now get here within those few weeks, you can now stress yourself to get a job here, which would allow you to change your tourist visa into work permit. Do you understand? So it is not about the amount of time you have in your tourist visa, because we have had scenarios of people that would have like wanting to visit Canada for 2 3 months, and the more period, the more time you put in your visitor visa, the more it is difficult for you to prove that you have financial capability to actually stay that long. The more it is difficult for you to prove to the visa officer that after those months of, you understand, staying in Canada, you would actually get back to your home country, the more it is going to be difficult for them to ascertain that yes, you have family ties or you have financial assets back home that would survive those amounts of months without you being there physically to actually, you understand, manage it. So you have to be very sure. Now, Janet asks, is 2,000 Canadian dollars not too high for 2 weeks? Well, initially when we were trying to assist people with it, we thought it was too high, but now currently it is not. You understand, especially for adults, it is something that they would see you as someone serious, because there's something about a rule of thumb when it comes to proof of funds. There are about 4 factors you need to look at when it comes to proof of funds. Firstly, you have to look at the living expenses of that particular place that you are going to stay in. You understand? Secondly, you have to look at the rentage or the hotel reservation you are going to be booking, how much is going to cost. You understand, you on a weekly basis, on a even if you are getting a letter of invitation from your family member stating that you will be staying in that person's abode, you can't just stay in that person's abode without also contributing financially to what the sustainability of your, you understand, your tourism in that particular place. So you have to make sure that the living expenses is there, the rentage or the hotel reservations. Now they also would always ask for your groceries and all other expenses that you spend in terms of maybe money for internet, money for, you understand, phone bills, money, all those things. You would pay for it here, maybe on a pay as you go kind of, you understand, medium. So you have to also fend for that in your proof of funds. You also have to fend for emergencies. Those are the four things you have to fend for: emergencies. There are some costs that may come to you, maybe for instance, as a result of your health, which you may not actually have the coverage of the government to pay for in Canada as a tourist. Because if you are coming to Canada, if you don't have the travel, the what they call it, the health insurance, you must have proof of funds to actually state that should, in case anything happens to you or your family member, you will be able to what? You'll be able to afford that what? You'll be able to afford that particular what? That particular what they call it? That particular illness or ailment. Now that's very important. Someone also asks, Janet, also, can one apply for 7 days or must it be 3 weeks minimum? Now, Janet, these are very good questions. You can afford to actually get 7 days. It's very possible. In fact, it may make your visa quite faster when they know that you have just little moments to spend in the country. But you also have to note: are you just coming for tourism alone, or are you coming for work permit? And you have to give a kind of window of application. You understand? When are you going to get your job? Except if you have your job offer already before you came into Canada. If you don't have your job offer, you have to leave time for when you get your job offer. You have to leave time for when you would settle down, because there's always something they know as jet lag for people that are not travel. For instance, my first time of traveling out of my country, like not internationally, was when I came to Canada. Do you understand? So the jet lag, I wasn't used to it. I had to rest for about a week, you understand, before I could get myself back. So you need to actually factor all those reasons, you understand, to your travel, so that it's not that when you just come here, you are not able to do anything and you just be forced to go back after the 7 days. So that's the reason we put a kind of 3 weeks or 4 weeks ultimatum to it. Now, I would like to talk about some predictions, because this policy, the policy of the Canadian immigration body, will not always be there, will not always be available for people, you understand, every year or every time. And in fact, it may end up being much more difficult for people. So we want to talk about some predictions we ourselves have seen when it comes to actually getting the visitor visa approved. Now, the very first prediction when it comes to Canada is that you have to note that the situation in Canada always change almost often. You understand? So visitor visa may get much more difficult. And even though we have seen scenarios of people, okay, someone just reached out to me today and said, oh, he just got his visitor visa. He applied himself, and after about 3 years, I think roughly about 2.5 years, that was when the person got visa. That means the person has actually started applying for the visitor visa since 2020. Now, this is not to scare you, but this is just to tell you that some people, what you find easy may be difficult to for others. Do you understand? So you as well have to be tactical. You have to make sure that your document is all right. The way you apply is succinct, is not something that is too good to be true. You have to endeavor that you don't even give them the opportunity to ask for more documents in order to prove what you already submitted before. Because the more time you take in trying to make them believe you, the longer the processing time goes. So the current trend basically for people that want to get visitor visa approved now is within 1 to 2 years. However, you can actually get lesser period. We have had scenarios of people within 2 months they got their visitor visa approved. So you need to actually do your application or process your application the very first time the best way possible you can, so that you avoid lengthening the time, you avoid actually elongating the time, you avoid not getting feedback quickly. Do you understand? So it all boils on how fast and how well you actually apply for your particular visa. Now, jobs will surely be more competitive, because even in Canada today, as of today, we are quite lucky the time we came in, because we came in around spring and there are lots of jobs. In fact, they said by summer we would have much more jobs, and summer starts from next month, which is June. So June to about August, there will be lots more jobs in Canada, and there will be lots more companies willing to what? To allow or willing to employ people around that time, because summer is a very good period where people actually go out more often, where there are a lot of activities, a lot of events, a lot of programs. So if you come in within now and June, or within now, June, July to August, you have much more chances than when you are coming in within the winter period, which is starting from September or October downwards. Do you understand? So always try to be articulate about when exactly you are coming into the country. It's very important, because that would depend or determine how fast you get what we know as essential jobs. You understand? Essential jobs are jobs that the populace of Canada cannot just do without. You understand? Take, for instance, jobs that are in the driving sector, the vocational sector, the tech sector. We'll still give you a kind of list of essential workers, essential jobs with their NOC codes. For people that don't know what NOC codes means, it means the National Occupational Codes. You understand? Occupation codes for people that are just coming into the country. And it's very important so that you would know what you need to focus on, the kind of jobs you need to focus on getting. You understand? When you land in Canada, so that you don't waste so much time. It doesn't matter, even if you are a doctor already in Canada, in your own country, it doesn't matter when you maybe, for instance, get a caregiver job. The fact is that you just need a job for you to retain yourself, or to retain your status, your legal status in Canada. You understand? So it doesn't matter if you didn't get your law job, if you didn't get your engineering job. All you just need to do is to get jobs maybe in the medical sector, in the construction industry, that would have LMIA sponsorship. In other words, those jobs will be willing to sponsor you. And when it comes to sponsorship in Canada, it is different from sponsorship outside of Canada. What that means is that they know that you have done the major work, the major work by stressing yourself to come into the country, the major work by fending for your own ticketing, fending for your own accommodation, fending for things like that. All they need, all employers will feel that they need to do for you now is just to what? Is just to get you the job letter and the LMIA report. So it will be much more easier for them to see you as someone that is willing and someone that is serious enough to work for them, than someone still back home in his or her own home country. And lastly, another prediction is that the future of PR will be quite stiff. Stiff in the sense that many people right now are having difficulty getting PR within 6 months. Some get it within 1 to 2 years. You understand? But the truth about it is that even the eligibility criteria of IELTS, TEF or TCF Canada, Masters, young age, the financial sustainability may actually be much more next year than this year, much more upper year than this year. Because why? If you really remember, for some of you that have been following the IRCC website for quite a while, just last week, or rather last month, they increased the proof of funds, the limit you must have in your account for proof of funds. You understand? They increased it, and this has been going on almost every year. They have been increasing it every year. So that means it will become more stiff for someone that did not start his or her own application right now and waited so long before they start it. So you as well need to try to, you understand, start your processing now. You understand? So that you avoid delays in your application, you avoid delays in you getting that PR status, you avoid delays in you not getting the job quickly. Do you understand? And it's very important you actually take note of that. Now, moving on, I would like to tell you all what you need in order to get your work permit. At least the major thing, it may not be the only thing, but the major thing you need to have is to get a valid job offer, and a valid job offer that has an LMIA. Now, okay, Janet also asks, please, can you give me more insights on how a tourist can convert to work permit, the processes, the duration? Thanks. This is to help put guide on potential tourist visa applications. Now, I may not go into the specifics of everything in details, because again, when it comes to application, every applicant is different. What works for one person may not potentially work for the other. I talked about the duration slightly now when I said different durations for different people. You understand? We have had situations of people getting work permits ASAP, you understand, after getting valid job offers within few weeks. We have had situations that it took some people months to get. You understand? But the rule of thumb is that the faster you start, the faster your chances of getting approved. The faster you start, something about, let me tell you about the Canadian um, um, society. Ever since I've been into this country for about a week now, I found out that everyone is willing to help you. Do you understand? Especially when they know that maybe, for instance, you are from their own community. The Indians would help themselves. The Chinese people would help themselves. The Nigerians too would help themselves. The Trinidad and Tobago would. And in fact, we have had situations where more communities are coming into other communities to help one another. But you need to be here first. But you need to also show that seriousness. So the more you show the seriousness, the more you are willing to actually come on board, the better your chances. Samantha also asks, is it true Canadians have different resume formats? Yes, they do. The resume format is not the same with your home country. What did you use when you apply for work? Now that's a very good one. And basically you use your resume and your cover letter. Do you understand? But all this will still be telling you how you can actually learn more about how to develop your resume, how to develop your cover letter. We'll tell you about how to use, okay, we don't, maybe the Harvard format is more of the UK. You would use more of the UK when you're trying to get jobs in the UK, or you understand, people that use the Harvard format. It's not really in Canada. You understand? It's not really a thing. So let's just leave that for now. All right. Let's move on. We want to talk about again how you can actually um what they call it, get a valid job offer with an LMIA. Now, there are some temporary workers that would easily, quickly get their own job offers, especially if they are, you understand, if they are on point with it, if they are fast with it. And you have to note that if you want to get jobs, there are some kind of jobs that are quick to get, that are easier to get, that the so-called IRCC would fast track their own application, because they will give those essential people, those people in those occupations, they will give them much more preferences or much more opportunity to get their own work permit fast than others. So I've given you some list of things you need to focus on, or some list of jobs you need to focus on. Even if, for instance, you have little experience in it, it is better for you to actually use that as a base of you getting a job in Canada than others. Like NOCs that relate to agriculture, you understand, are like butchers, meat cutters, agricultural contractors, supervisors, livestock workers, you understand, harvesting laborers, fish and seafood plant workers, you understand, general farm workers, transport truck drivers. Truck drivers is one crazy, you understand, one crazy occupation that you can actually quickly get your offer later. You understand? True. It's very important because many people waste their time trying to get jobs. As I've said before in this session, you have to focus on getting jobs that will quickly allow you to change your status from what? To change your status from the what they call it, the tourist visa to the work permit. So try as much as possible to get something that would allow you to start working immediately. You understand? Like some of the things we listed in the, I may not take time to actually talk about all the, you understand, all the occupations in the list, but you also could actually go on the links we are sharing with you right now to actually check some of those, you understand, some of those occupations. Now, moving on, we also have other vacant job industries that you could get jobs in Canada currently. Anyone into the energy and utilities industry is a very good industry where we have the engineers, the technicians, risk analysts, utility workers, plant supervisors, business analysts, and developers. You also stand a fair chance of getting jobs quickly. Healthcare workers, some of these jobs you might have seen it before, like nurses, doctors, pharmacists, dentists, psychologists, technicians, caregivers, social workers, critical goods, you understand, grocery stores, pharmacies. We have had people, even students, international students, coming into Canada and getting grocery store workers job quickly. You understand? Because those ones would always most likely need people ASAP to do jobs for them. So if you are in Canada as a visitor or as a tourist, you can easily get such jobs and quickly move into the work permit, you understand, category, as a farmer, as a warehouse worker, as a production worker, as a sales personnel. In the ICT sector too, you can, the call center operator, the network service providers, the media, telecommunication servers, technicians, data center operators. In the transport sector, as I talked about, the truck drivers before, air traffic controllers, rail crews, air crews, maintenance mechanics, you can get those jobs quickly, easily, and what, actually move on to actually applying for your work permit. Now, these are other jobs too. I've talked about the nurses, but the specific type of nurses you can actually get, you understand, work from. There are different kind of nurses, different kind of people. There are doctors, specialists in surgeries, nurse practitioners, nurse aides, you understand, physiotherapists, pharmacists, physicians. People like this, you can easily get jobs in Canada, you understand, when you come as a tourist or as a visitor. Now, please, if you are on the Google Meet, I think the Google Meet is saying our time is up. Where we actually signed up for 1 hour, so you can also join through the YouTube link. You understand? The YouTube link has been sent again on the live chat section. Some people are joining us on the live YouTube. Please go on there. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel in order to get notified anytime we drop such content like this or have any of these webinars again. You can also, after the 10 minutes, after about 6 p.m. West African time, or you understand, 1 p.m. Eastern time in Ontario, you can also join back this you understand, this meeting after. I think it would allow us to join back after some time, or you could go on the you understand, the YouTube live in order to join. So that being said, let's move on to the next slide. The permanent residence visa. After you have gotten your tourist visa, you have come into Canada, you understand, and you have so-called gotten your job offer, you have gotten your work permit. The next thing you need to focus on, and that could take more time, for you to get your work permit, you understand, after your tourism, after you have landed in Canada, it could take within few weeks. For people that are fast, within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they have gotten their work, their job, and they have switched. So for some people, it could take some more time, like few months, in order to get their tourist change into the work permit. Do you understand? For some people, they will still be willing to. Some people, even as they come in as tourists, some may not go through the work permit. They could sign up for what we know as the asylum. You understand? They could claim asylum in Canada. You understand? We have people coming from Ukraine, for instance, and they claim asylum. They become refugees in Canada. You understand? In fact, the Uber driver that drove us from the airport to our house, you understand, he was what? He was a Ukrainian. You understand? And he got the work permit, but he is going to be seeking for asylum because everyone knows what Ukraine and Russia are actually dealing with. He has been here for about 6 months, and it's easy for him to actually state that as a reason, you understand, to not what, to not go back to his own country. But for you that don't have that opportunity, you may have to actually sign up for permanent residence visa. Do you understand? And for that, there are over 80 different programs. Now, before I go on, please, again, you can go on the YouTube section, the YouTube live, join through the YouTube live, because we have about 1 minute time for this Google Meet meeting, the webinar to actually go off. So you can join through the YouTube channel. You understand? We have the YouTube live currently going on. So join through that in order to still continue getting access to what we are talking about today. Thank you very much, everyone, under the Google Meet. Now, that being said, I was talking about the over 80 different programs. We have over 80, in fact, it's even more than 80 now. There are about 100 different immigration programs you can use to get your permanent residence visa. Some people may ask, how was I able to get the permanent residency? I was able to get it through provincial nominee program, which is the PNP. And many people may have tried some of this. Many people may not know about it. Many people may still be skeptical about it. It does work because I've tried it. It does work. I didn't just try it alone. I tried it with my own common law partner, and it worked for us. Some people don't even know about the common law partnership. We also have a webinar we have done, I think that was last month, which explained how you yourself can actually go through the permanent residency, or even international students, or even the work, you understand, permit application as a common law partner of someone else. Do you understand? Whether be it the same sex, whether a man and a man can do sponsor common law partnership, a lady and a lady can do common law sponsorship without getting married, or different spouses or different sexes can do common law partnership. If you need much more details on that, you can as well go on our YouTube channel to actually learn more about how that can actually work for you. Now, moving on, we were talking about the permanent residency. I always tell people, before you dample on any permanent residency application, do your due diligence, check your eligibility status. And we have, yes, we have the CRS calculator on the Canadian immigration website to help you. That is if, for instance, you already have your IELTS done, if you have the TEF Canada done, if you have things like that done. But for some people who don't have that, we at A.O.S Group have actually set up a, so to speak, pre-evaluation process that allows you to not just, you understand, waste time focusing on the application that will not get you easily approved quickly and fast. We have the application that would allow you to answer questions as regards your nationality, answer questions as regards your age, answer questions based on your language abilities, your ties in Canada, your financials, your family members back home, your education, your work experience, your details on any job offer, and your travel history. All this would allow, you understand, us, if we are to assist you in your application, to check if you actually are able to get that, you understand, to get that work visa approved, to get that permanent residency application approved by what? The Canadian Immigration Office. Do you understand? And it's very important for you to note that most times it doesn't really relate, or it doesn't really, you not actually getting PR visa through maybe the common express entry program, express entry route, doesn't mean you cannot get it another way. You understand? Doesn't mean you cannot get it through other programs. Provincial nominee program is one I talked about. If you get into Canada as a visitor, you can also get through the agri-food pilot program. You can get through the rural and northern pilot program. There are quite a lot of programs that we cannot even talk about completely in this session that would allow you to change your work permit, or that would allow you to change your permanent residency status back into what? Back into the permanent residency visa. But you need to know how eligible you are for those programs. So if you go on our website again, our website is actually aosacademy.com, aosacademy.com slash migration dash agency. During this, and I'll give you some time to actually go on that website. I've actually put it on the live chat section of YouTube right now. You can go on that link to actually check our pre-evaluation process. It would help you find out, once you fill the form, you understand, you would get a report. And now currently in this webinar, anyone that actually fills it during this webinar would get it free. It actually costs to actually process it, but you would get the pre-evaluation process free if you go to it right now, fill the form, and within few hours or few days, you would get feedback on how eligible you are for each or some of the programs you actually get to select through that process. Now, moving on without wasting much time, let's go on to the next slide. Something about PR, something about permanent residency is that it gives you that respect and honor. I can remember when we were in the airport, many of us that came in through the PR process, many of us that were able to change our work permit or our visitor visa into the PR process, the way we were honored by the visa officer was next to none. Do you understand? They respected us because of what we had. You understand? The PR visa is just like the green card in the US. And the way you would be, you understand, respected even by other people that are into the international students, into the work permits, you understand, process, the visitor process, is second to none. We have people that have been in Canada for 6 months, for a year, for 2 years, 3 years, and they have not gotten the opportunity to have that PR, you understand, that PR visa. Why? Because they have not been actively, you understand, intentional about it. So I want you, even if you are not to come in, even if you are not allowed, you are not able to come in as a PR, you understand, even if you are not able to, you understand, get that PR from your home country, like some of us were opportune to get, try as much as possible. As soon as you get into the country, as soon as you get your work permit and you understand, work for at least 6 months or a year, try as much as possible to quickly switch your work permit to permanent residency, because no matter how long you spend in this country as an international student or as a temporary worker or as a visitor, even if you have multiple entry visa that is up to 8 years or 10 years, you won't be able to change that visa into a citizenship until you become a permanent resident yourself. So you have to make sure that you get that honor, you get that respect. You understand? You actually apply for that PR within few years or within few months. After, and in fact, many people don't know that as soon as you get your valid job offer, you understand, you can switch quickly from getting work permits to getting permanent residency. Because if you have a job offer, which is a valid job offer, you understand, from a licensed employer or from an employer that is registered by the Canadian government, you understand, you would be able to actually use that same job offer, you understand, to apply for permanent residency directly. The only thing is that you may have to go back to your country, or you may use it together with your work permit in such a way that you still stay back in Canada as a temporary worker, but you use that same job offer to keep on processing your permanent residency. And for that, you may need to go through the IELTS, need to do the other requirements, other criteria that would allow you to stay back in that particular country. So, that being said, we come on to talking about our tourist to work for permanent residence package. For many of you who don't know what we do, A.O.S Group is an organization that actually tries and attempts to, you understand, assist travelers, assist immigrants, international students, workers, and even tourists to move from their own country down to a first world country like Canada, like the UK, and all other tourist attraction centers like France and the rest of them. So we have a package that would allow you to go through all the process we talked about from the very beginning to the end. From you getting your tourist visa, you understand, from your own country, to you landing in Canada as a worker, you understand, under the work permit, or not landing, so to speak, but changing your tourist visa to work permit after you land, you understand, and later on changing that work permit to permanent residency. And because we are so focused on helping you not just visit Canada as a tourist, not just getting a valid job offer, not just, you understand, getting that work permit, but we really want you to get your permanent residency, be it in 2023 or even in 2024. We are actually allowing you to know what we can actually provide for you, what we can do for you from the very beginning of the process. You understand? We want to tell you all what you will need to relocate. We want to show you, not even only tell you, we want to show you and assist you to learn all what you will need to relocate to Canada as a visitor, or what you need to quickly get a valid job offer. Someone was talking about the resume, the cover letter, and everything. We want to assist you with all those. We also want to assist you with getting either an open work permit or an employer specific work permit. For some of you that don't know it, the difference is that if you want to get an open work permit, you understand, it means that you will get a open work permit that allows you to work with any other employer. It is not restrictive to just one employer in Canada. But the employer specific work permit is limited to just one employer, and that means you cannot leave that country or you cannot leave that employer. If you have to leave that employer, your work permit will be terminated. So we can actually help you get either the open work permit or the employer specific work permit, and even after just 6 months or more, you can now apply for permanent residency, all while you are in Canada. Do you understand? And what you will learn, what would assist you to do through this package, is that would help you get the easy step-by-step visa application ways that would allow you to get your visa approved quickly, which is valid for over 997 USD. You understand, that's roughly 443,000 naira value. Would also assist you to provide you with Canadian resume secrets and cover letter template you would use to actually get that your job, even if it is not your dream job, but if it is something that would allow you to stay back in Canada and be able, you understand, to not just stay back, but to also process your work permit and your permanent residency after, which is valid for over 699 USD. Likewise, we would also assist you with international migrant business coaching for travel entrepreneurs. So if you want to become a travel entrepreneur like me, you can actually do that by having your daytime job. A lot of people that we met in Canada have their daytime job they are doing. Some are working for the government, some are working for the private firms, some are working for the public sector, and they have their own what, their own cash jobs. They call it cash jobs. And these are jobs that don't go on into the book. And that means they won't pay tax for those jobs. That means that these are jobs that they would get to earn handsomely for it. You understand? Handsomely through it. And they would actually earn all the money, all the incomes without actually paying tax on those monies. So we'd also tell you how to do that legally and not actually go against the law. Likewise, we'd also teach you how you can actually provide employer information like the job documents we talked about, like the leave of absence, you understand, letter that you'd have to write, the no objection certificate. Many people don't know that there is a certificate you can actually write from your employer that is known as the no objection certificate, and this certificate is really much needed by the visa officer. You can find a lot of templates online. However, there are some templates that will get you rejected easily. Now we'll show you some of the templates that you would use, some of the leave letter samples that you would use that would actually allow you to be approved by the visa officer quickly and easily. We would also give you one bonus, which is the live weekly Canada immigration consultation you would have directly with me, A.O.S. You understand? Which is valid for over 497 USD. And this is priceless because, in fact, you would be able to learn everything we are doing for other people, everything people are doing currently in Canada, and everything that is getting them selected quickly and easily in Canada. We would also give you another bonus, which is the important items you can bring to Canada when coming. Now, a lot of people, when they get to the airport, we saw them stranded. Some didn't have the necessities that they needed to actually land and live in Canada. So this is very, very important because we'll show you as soon as you are coming as a visitor or as a tourist, what exactly you need in order to live in Canada, what exactly you need in order to thrive in Canada, what exactly you need to continue. Some people are Uber drivers, which are cash jobs, you understand, that they do on the side apart from their daytime jobs. So these are jobs that would allow you. We have seen Indians doing this in Canada, Ukrainians doing this in Canada. Do you understand? And they are making lots of money. We'll tell you how you can actually set up your life in Canada to allow you to actually do those kind of jobs when you later land in this country. Now, we'll also tell you the common mistakes you need to avoid, you understand, in order not to get rejections from your visas when you are applying. Would also teach you how to get job deals that will allow you to sponsor yourself to Canada, or how they could sponsor you, you understand, to actually stay back in Canada. Would also teach you, give you sample approved visa applications and documentations templates that we ourselves have used for ourselves and for other people that have actually come through Canada, that have come here, you understand, and have actually, you understand, prospered, that have actually been able to switch their tourist visas to work visas and their work permits to permanent residence visas. We would also give you the bonus 5, which is the monthly Jackpot Masterclass I do always have on a monthly basis, which is valid for over 399 USD, which will tell you how you yourself can actually make use of the opportunities that are bound in this country in order to prosper. We would also tell you, just like I told you, the common law union partnership advantage, which is valid for 259 USD. One person that actually came to Canada, came as a permanent resident in Canada last week. She didn't have any masters, she didn't have any bachelors, she didn't have lots of years of experience working, she didn't have much things, but she came as a common law partner of another person. You understand? So we'll tell you how to scout for people that can actually bring you from your home country into Canada without spending so much. You understand? Without having so much credentials, so much academic qualifications, and still become what? Permanent residents yourself, still become workers yourself, and still earn handsomely. Now, we'd also give you the Canada Immigration Residency Complete Package, complete checklist rather. And this checklist will list out all the documents you need for any visa whatsoever you want to apply for. We'd also give you the bonus number 4, which is the IELTS preparation training and materials that we would use to actually train you, because we have an online course that will train you. You understand? That's the bonus for the IELTS preparation training and materials, which is valid for 259 USD, which will train you on how to excel in IELTS once and for all, and the materials you need to actually excel in it. We would also tell you the travel history, would give you access to the travel history, the itinerary, flight ticket, hotel reservations, events, registration tickets, and templates that we have been using for people and have been successful. You understand? We would also give you letter of invitation, proof of relationship, visa documents, and scripts that other people have used and succeeded in actually getting their own visa approved. We would also lastly give you the bonus 6, which is the 12 months unlimited update about how you can relocate, how you can live, and how you can prosper in Canada. And that's valid for over 799 USD. We would give you the Canadian job search training. Everyone we assist to actually come into Canada goes through this training because it's very important. You need to know how to scout for jobs. We have seen people in Canada that they have been here for weeks, been here for months, and have not gotten jobs. Why? Because they don't know how to scout for jobs. They don't know how to be passive and as well active when they are searching for jobs. The fact that yes, you are scouting for jobs doesn't mean that recruiters shouldn't give you jobs. We have had scenarios whereby if you have a LinkedIn profile, and that is the next thing we want to talk about, how you can build your outstanding LinkedIn profile that would make you market yourself to Canadian employers, and they would be the one actually what they will be the one sending you job offers, not you even stressing to get those job offers. So before I go on, I would like to ask, is anyone willing to actually get this package? Is anyone willing to actually go through this process with us? Is anyone willing to let us assist them to actually get these job offers, to help them, assist them get this tourist visa to come into Canada, and finally to actually get the permanent residency status? If you are willing, please let me get it on the chat section. Let me know that someone is following me. Are you willing to actually go through this process with me? Are you willing to actually get access to this package if you are given the opportunity? Are you willing to walk through the process with us to get this package for yourself in order to quickly move to Canada? Please let me know on the chat section. I'm looking at the chat section right now. Has anyone actually sent anything? Okay, someone is asking for the link. I've shared the link right now. The link for YouTube. I believe that's what you're asking for. The link for YouTube. Um, okay, please, anyone. Am I getting something right now? Okay. Do you have a WhatsApp group? Yes, we do have a WhatsApp group for those who join our company. Yes, if you actually join, if you are one of our clients, you would have access to our closed WhatsApp group. And we have some open Telegram groups as well that you could as well join. You understand? So the links you can definitely get it on um our website. You can get it on our website, aosacademy.com, and I may share some of it with you on this live webinar as well before we go. So if you would like to actually get the package we were talking about, which is the TWP package, the tourist to work for permanent residency package, then for those who actually get it within now and this weekend, yes, thank you very much, Kike Lomo. If you get it now, within now and this weekend, instead of paying 3,000 USD for it, you would actually just pay 2,000 USD only within now and the next 3 days, and that is now from now to the end of roughly to the end of this month. So if you are really interested, I am willing to go through it. Good. I'm willing to go through it. Nice. That's very good. If you are willing to go through it, then you have to chat us up on our WhatsApp in order to get further details on how to go through about it. And I'll send you our WhatsApp right now so that you can actually reach out to us and get started with your application. Now, one thing I've noticed about people when it comes to things is that people really need people that have succeeded in assisting them or assisting others with it. And I'll tell you that I'm a living witness to it because I assisted people and I assisted definitely myself to actually move to Canada. But it's very essential for you to note that when it comes to visiting Canada, you have to be very articulate. One thing can cause the visa to be rejected, and you may not have that opportunity again to get approved. So it's very important. Okay, someone is at not the YouTube link. Okay, which link are you talking about? Sophiat. So as I was saying, if you want to actually learn how to, you understand, join us in the process. If you want to actually get the T.W.P package and get started with the application right now, visit our WhatsApp link, chat us up on WhatsApp. Do you understand right now? To get started, with the T.W.P package, the T.W.P.R package. Now, actually, the cost of that package, as you have it on the screen right now, is 3,000 USD. But instead of you paying that amount of it, amount for it rather, you would pay 2,000 USD only within now and the next 3 days. And it's very important. Okay, you said you can also send us both the WhatsApp and your Telegram link. All right. I'll send it right now. Let me just try check it out right now. Okay. So you would receive it shortly. I'm trying to look through it right now. I think we have some of our um some of our members are also on this call. So if any one of you can also share some of those links, it will really be appreciated. Okay, I've sent the Telegram link. The Telegram link is there. So you can actually join the Telegram link. The WhatsApp link as well, I'll share it. Just give me some few minutes. Okay, I think some people have been chatting us up on WhatsApp right now. Please, if you are really interested in this, then chat us up within now and within the weekend, basically. The faster you actually chat us up, the better, before the price actually increases. You understand? To actually get started with your application right now. So we are expecting you. Okay, we are seeing some people join the Telegram group. The Telegram group has been sent right now. You can join the Telegram group right now. The WhatsApp group is coming on board now. If you want to join, it's free for you to join those groups.
Good. So let's go back in this. This what else you need. Put there.
Okay, I've also sent the WhatsApp group. I've also sent the free link to the screening to know which packages suits an immigrant best. Now, that's a very good question. If you want to know the free link to join, yes, we have the free link on our website. Yes, in order to check the one that suits you best, because we have several packages. So we have the T.W.P.R package for those who just want to move through just one permit or one visa. We also have the Make Money and Migrate to Canada package, and we also have the one we are trying to sell out right now, the T.W.P.R package. So you can go on our website, aosacademy.com/packages, to learn more about the ones that you could actually select from. You could select out of any of those packages that we have right there. Now, okay, fine. I think, yes, if you want to make payments, you can actually make payments through our Nigerian account or our Canadian account. Yes, that's a very good question. So if you chat us up on WhatsApp, you would get feedback on how to actually sign up and how to get, you understand, how to get to make payment. Yes, so within now, today is Saturday. So within now and roughly Tuesday, we would add another time to it. Within now and Tuesday, you could actually get to pay, and you would pay the fee, just 2,000 Canadian dollars, rather US dollars, US dollars, and that would allow us to actually work with you through the tourist visa, getting the tourist visa, through the getting the work permit, and through the um, permanent residency visa, the permanent residency visa. And that means we are going to be working with you for at least 6 to 12 months, which is a whole lot of time. A whole lot of time, if you ask me. We'll be working with you within 6 to 12 months for those who are willing to actually let us work with them through the process, so that you actually get much more better chances of getting approved quickly, easier, faster. You understand, without stressing so much like many people are doing right now. So we are going to be okay. I've been seeing quite a lot of people chatting us right now. A lot of people chatting. That's very good. That's very good. In fact, this price, the 2,000 US dollars, is just for the webinar period. Within the webinar period, after the next 3 days, it's going to increase. Definitely, it's going to increase. So you can actually get that offer right now, so that you work with us to actually work with us to get your statuses in Canada quickly. And I really would expect to work with many of you that joined today and learned one or two things. Please, we are now in the Q&A session. If you have any questions you would like to ask, I'm going up right now to learn more about your questions. I'm scrolling up the chat section. So if you have any questions, please, this is the time to ask. This is the time to ask. Abdul Jalil asked, I would love to have tourist visa for Canada, but I have applied for EE and I don't have a solid. Oh, okay. I think I saw this question when we started the process, when we started the webinar. And yes, you may feel you don't have any solid reason to visit Canada, Abdul Jalil. Yes, and it's something that I'll state that if you don't know how to go about it, it may be difficult for you. So what I would advise you to do is sign up to the package, and there are solid reasons we would give you to visit Canada. There are solid places you could visit in Canada as a tourist, even if you don't have someone in Canada that can visit, that can actually give you the letter of invitation. There are travel itineraries that you would have access to that would better your chances to come into Canada. You understand? Better your chances to move into Canada quickly, easier, and you would actually spend less and come here, work, and even earn, you understand, in order to continue your processing. So So don't worry about the solid reasons. We would provide you with some of the travel itinerary you could use to convince the visa officer that yes, you could really get in. Whether be it you are from Africa or from Asia or from, forget about that. If not having good employment prospects, I would say it's a lie, or maybe because you don't know before. So you can actually get to learn, even if you don't have good prospect. You can get to learn. You can get trained on how you could do. There are many companies that could actually train you to do their jobs well. You understand? So that shouldn't be an issue for you if you are willing to learn. Even if you don't have good prospects now, definitely you can get good prospects within a few weeks or months. You understand? So you also asked, can you tell us about how to find a job while on a tourist visa? Definitely, you can get a job through tourist visa by first of all landing here. You understand? And you can do the manual way by going into offices to get jobs. Even that may not take you too far. You can also go through the online platforms like LinkedIn, like you understand, like Job Bank, Canadian Job Bank, like Indeed, like Monster.ca. There are quite a lot. On our YouTube channel, we explain many ways you can actually get started with looking for jobs. And about the LMIA issue, definitely you could also get jobs related to that as well. So all you just need to do is to get started with the package. So anyone who is willing to get started with the package now, chat us up again on WhatsApp, and I'm sending a WhatsApp. The WhatsApp is on the screen. You can chat us up on WhatsApp via that link right now in order to get started. And we do hope to, you understand, hear from you soon. So with that, we come to the end of this. I think we don't have any questions again on the chat section. We come to the end of this webinar. Thank you everyone for joining us for this session. We really do appreciate it. And we hope to see you in our next webinar sessions. Thank you very much and do have a lovely day ahead. Bye for now, guys.